This is such a personal thing.
Yeah.
And it gets really personal with stories. And then they're very vivid and very detailed when they're your own.
Yep.
So online lender shit, that wouldn't fly.
No.
And then
it was a long day in your defense.
It was.
And we were tired. And the granite was not the prettiest. And first time I ever heard you say a curse word. And you apologized immensely. And I was like, it's okay.
And you were mad that I had ice cream. And you didn't
I was mad that you had ice cream.
Yeah. You remember that?
I remember that now. Introverted / extroverted depends on who I'm in front of and the environment that I'm in. But for the most part, I am an extroverted person. But
you know what that's called?
Do tell.
An introverted extrovert.
That's what I am. Yeah. I'm comfortable now. I'll be an extrovert with you.
Story. Do you remember where I was whenever you were attending our home inspection for the first home we were under contract on?
I don't remember where you were, but I remember FaceTiming with you.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Nest Podcast, where we discuss health, wealth, real estate, and life. Today's guest is Andree Schlicher with McGeeScott Realty. Andree, thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
I'm very excited that you're here. This is a special episode for me. Kind of came full circle. You were back at the house that you helped Anya and I buy back in 2015.
Yep.
Did you have to GPS?
No, I did not.
I know whenever I sent you the invite, I sent you the address and you said, hey, dummy, I know where you live.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been here before.
Yeah. So off camera, we talked about some of the things we were going to discuss. I think I've sprinkled in a few stories along the way, but I think a nice consolidated version of kind of how we came to be, because there were some very unique things that we experienced through the course of buying our home that I tell clients all the time. Part of what we do, this is such a personal thing.
Yeah.
And it gets really personal with stories. And then they're very vivid and very detailed when they're your own.
Yep.
So no one that I've had on yet has been through, the process with me, but when I tell buyers about it. So just so you know, I don't think I've ever told you that. I often reference some of the things that we experienced whenever we bought the house. Like we moved in before closing.
Yep.
That doesn't happen often.
No.
Was it like a week?
I think so. I think it was right about a week.
So if I recall correctly, what I had done, I had asked, we sold our house too fast.
Mm-hmm.
We had this purgatory period where we were going to be homeless.
Yep.
Didn't want to move multiple times.
And relocating from a whole different state.
Yep. So I rented out what was an Uncle Bob's storage room at the time. I was going to have the movers go load everything in there and then bring everything back once we closed.
Yep.
And then had a wild hair one day and said, hey, can we just move into the garage and then close in a week? And that's what I had asked you to see if you could find out.
And we were lucky because it was new construction. It was vacant. So we had that chance.
And ultimately, what ended up happening?
We moved in. We closed. And now you're still here.
We are.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen. So a lot of stars had to line up for that.
Yep.
New construction. So there weren't traditional sellers who were occupying the home to deal with. I can tell you wholeheartedly that would have never happened if I hadn't used Jesse to help us buy the house.
Yep.
Online lender shit, that wouldn't fly.
No.
And then he was him. If he was 2, 3, 4 years in the business, he wouldn't have been able. That wouldn't have flown.
Yep. He's a go-getter, and he makes sure he gets it done in a record amount of time. So, and we needed it to happen in a record amount of time.
But he was local, and because he was experienced, he was very reputable.
Yes.
I'd like to say I was a good borrower. which which we were. But at the end of the day, it rested a lot on the confidence that people had in him.
Mm-hmm.
So
Correct.
Yep. So we moved in early. This is not the first house that we were under contract on. I tell people the story. Do you remember where I was whenever you were attending our home inspection for the first home we were under contract on?
I don't remember where you were, but I remember FaceTiming with you.
I was in Texas. It was the day before Thanksgiving.
Okay.
It was a Wednesday. I told you they were vivid. I was in South Texas somewhere driving through a Dairy Queen.
Yes, you were eating a Blizzard.
And then you got mad at me. And I thought it was because the house was messed up and you were mad that I had ice cream. And you didn't
I was mad that you had ice cream.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
You remember that?
I remember that now.
I think I was on an iPad. You were on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a stucco issue.
Yep. Big stucco issue.
Big stucco issue.
Yep.
We backed out of the contract on our last day of due diligence. And then the next day was Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
So we lived in Texas at the time. We were coming home. You said, hey, I want to show you some houses tomorrow. I told you, absolutely not. I would never ask. I mean, even as a layman back then, not being in the industry, I would never ask somebody to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you told me that if it was Christmas, you would have told me, hell no.
Correct.
But I was helping you out and Thanksgiving was okay.
Yes.
And ultimately, one of the only houses we saw Thanksgiving Day was this one. And it ended up being the one.
Yep. It's meant to be.
I have pictures of us from across the street where there were no houses, like the neighborhood's all built out now.
Yeah. I think we maybe looked at 10 houses Thanksgiving Day. It was a lot.
Was it that many?
It was that many.
I knew.
Because y'all were in town, so we wanted to take advantage of you guys being in town.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you. Huh? We
That's
couldn't.
true.
We couldn't. Yep.
And it became the one.
Yeah. So like out of all of them, the one we had done the least due diligence and research on.
Correct.
And just kind of like looking at was this one. And it's ultimately the one we walked in, we were right there.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, oh shit, I think this is the one.
And it is.
And it was. And it still is.
Good granite. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like the granite joke you want to tell.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe the last house we were in, it was a long day in your defense.
It was.
And we were tired and the granite was not the prettiest. And you just almost had a full blown come apart over granite. And first time I ever heard you say a curse word and you apologized immensely. And I was like, it's okay. You had to get those feelings out. Mm-hmm. We knew that was not the one.
I don't know if you were telling the truth or not at the time, but I think you told me after, you're like, no, look, I feel way more comfortable now.
Yes, it's true.
If that was, and I don't know if that's why I tell people that sometimes too, whenever, I mean, look, we get, this stuff gets very personal and sometimes people, you can't, if it's too rigid and people aren't comfortable, I just let people be who they need to be.
Correct.
Some people are super straight laced and some people will kind of let it fly sometimes and they'll apologize like I did.
Yep.
I'm like, no, it's good. Really. I'm way more comfortable than I was before because now I know now we're just talking.
Exactly.
Right.
And I knew exactly how you felt about that house. Because some people will be kind of polite and, oh, it's nice or it's not quite for us. You were very honest.
It checked a lot of boxes. Mm-hmm. I just didn't want to replace things the moment I walked in.
No.
Yeah.
Nope.
But we went through that to get to here.
Yep.
And it all worked out.
Yes, it did.
What else would we do that was different? We have a closing picture. We'll throw it up on here during editing. A lot has happened since that. So that was late December of 2015.
Mm-hmm.
How many families have you helped from 2016 through today, which is going on, 8.5 years?
Yes. I'll be in the industry 10 years in June. So probably 300 to 400 families, roughly. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm close to 650.
Yep.
Jesse's no telling.
We don't. Yeah.
In the stratosphere somewhere.
Whatever.
But I mean, look at that. Who would have thought? all this time later.
And we still like each other.
I know. I know. Come a long way.
Yep.
So I'm glad you're here to circle back. It was like being in a time machine, except I was on the other side of the door when we opened it.
Correct.
We didn't walk in together.
Correct.
So what has, I know a lot's changed since 2015.
Yes.
I was asking you off camera how things have been going for you lately, if you've been doing things different. And you mentioned something about kind of turning a corner right before COVID or kind of during the early stages of the COVID years.
Yes.
Everything just came together? Like what was the thing that was the turning point you were referencing earlier? I intentionally didn't ask you for more details because I wanted to hear
That's
about
okay. Well, I was with a different brokerage whenever I helped you guys purchase this house. And in 2016, I moved to a different brokerage, the brokerage I'm at now, McGeeScott Realty. And that started the process of me becoming who I am today as a realtor. It started to really mold me down the path that I was hoping to become on one day. My brokers are phenomenal. They have molded me. They have taught me. And slowly I've become who and work how I do today. But, COVID and that stay-at-home time, it forced us to look at how we ran our business, how we wanted to continue our business, and we had to get creative. So it forced us to kind of come out of our normal routine, come out of our shell, because you had to interact with people in a totally different way, whether it was in person in that house or doing a lot of these things virtually that we had to do, virtual showings. I had one closing where we were all standing on a different wall in a room pretty much because it was so fresh and nobody really knew what was going on. But at the end of the day, we still had to close on this property. So after that, I had to kind of learn how to come out of my own shell. I mean, I'm introverted / extroverted, depends on who I'm in front of and the environment that I'm in. But for the most part, I am an extroverted person. But
You know what that's called?
do tell.
An introverted extrovert.
That's what I am. Yeah. I'm comfortable now. I'll be an extrovert with you, but some situations I'm very in my shell, but I also get in my head way too much. I'm very self-critical. I was lacking a lot of self-confidence, and I don't know, the market changed, and I just one day just kind of started to catch myself being more and more comfortable with what I was doing, what I was saying, my routine, how I interacted with people. And because at McGeeScott, there's always continuing education. We take our continuing ed hours every year, but if there's a situation that happens, we're all learning about it. In our meetings, or Angela's going to send out an email. So that constant education helped build my confidence as well. And I'm just at a stage where I feel like I'm in a really good groove where no matter what situation's thrown at me, even if it's a brand new situation, I've never done it before, I know I can find my way and navigate my way through it confidently and get to the result that we need to get at.
So it sounds like it was a combination of knowledge.
Yes.
And then once you had that, it was just about executing.
Correct.
And showing up a certain way.
Yes.
Not the forward facing stuff.
No.
Because I never detected that from you. So.
Okay.
Yeah. And I mean, I can smell that.
Fake it till you make it.
Well, you did a great job.
Thank you.
But I think I'm listening to you. It sounds like your turning point was how inwardly facing, how you perceived how you were showing.
Correct.
And then once those matched up,
that was it.
Mm-hmm. And then you've just been doing your thing since then.
Yep.
So McGeeScott that was founded in 16 or 17?
December of 2016.
You guys have to be, say guys,
we do. We have
gals.
We have a few guys. Yeah. Predominantly gals.
You're doing the lion's share of the business in Iberia Parish.
I believe so.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you branch out here often? I know we were kind of an outlier initially because we were Youngsville, but
we do have an office in Lafayette.
Okay.
Kind of behind women's and children's, that area. I work anywhere in Acadiana. I'm predominantly Iberia, Vermilion, St. Mary, and Lafayette. But Iberia is my wheelhouse for sure.
I feel like you're always doing stuff.
Always.
And I'm not talking about real estate stuff.
Yes.
What are some of the organizations you're involved in?
Chamber of Commerce. So in 2018, Jesse Reagan and I did Leadership Iberia. And that was a game changer for me personally. I was born and raised Iberia Parish. You think you know everything because you're born and raised there. And we learned so much, just the behind the scenes.
You started walking into different rooms, getting through different doors,
Yes.
with different people.
That too, but just the background and how things function to make Iberia Parish work.
Okay.
A lot of that was just eye-opening. And so it gave me a deeper appreciation for where I was born and raised, a deeper appreciation for where I live, because I understand it better. I understand it on a level that I wish all citizens could understand their city and their parish.
The hows and the whys.
Yes.
Hey, if you get frustrated if this happens, you got to know that like this was the best choice that could have been made
Yes.
that helped the most people at the time.
That's exactly
No
it.
one's going to be 100% happy. These were the alternatives.
That's exactly
Now that you know that, would you still be mad that like this happened?
And once you can tap into that knowledge, you receive that information differently and you process that information differently that your local government or community leaders give you. But the chamber really sparked a fire under me. I'm now on the board of directors for the Chamber of Commerce. I'm the first chair, so I'll be the chairman next year. And yes,
Congratulations.
and I just thoroughly enjoy it. It's just seeing my parish in a whole different light. This year, I sit on the board for IDF, Iberia Development Foundation. So that's a lot of commercial-based professionals that sit around that table. And so to learn Iberia Parish now from that perspective is very interesting.
Different rooms, different doors, different conversations.
Yes, the
But
different conversations.
Now
is
you
what
have
it is.
you're having a 360 degree.
It's putting all the pieces together. Yep. Yep.
Have you thought about what does that afford you the opportunity to do going forward? Like, have you thought about next level big stuff, or do you you're moving well within your day to day now, and you're just gonna be moving like super smooth because you know all the pieces everywhere.
Well, and it's helped me in my job because we have a lot of people that relocate to Iberia Parish from different states. So it helps me sell Iberia Parish better because I understand it. So when people start to ask me certain questions that I'm able to answer, they're appreciative of the knowledge that I can give them. So I find that just in my profession, it's helped me, but it also kind of helped give me that confidence too with what I do because I'm comfortable in the knowledge of where I'm selling.
It probably allows you to give back to the brokerage also,
Yes.
because you get a lot from it.
Correct. I do.
Not everybody is involved in all of the things that you're involved in.
Yes.
So that's your kind of contribution to the team as well,
Correct.
I would imagine.
Kind of don't know how to say no. So I'm in a lot, but everything that I'm involved in, I genuinely enjoy being a part of. And that makes a difference. I'm not just there because it looks good. I'm there because I genuinely enjoy it. Because if you don't have a passion, then why even be there?
So Chamber, IDF.
Optimist Club.
What's that?
The Optimist
I
Club.
feel like I've heard about that like when I was young, but I don't know what it is.
There's three main civic organizations most communities have: Kiwanis,
Rotary.
Rotary, and Optimist.
Okay.
So I'm in the Optimist Club. Our goal is for the youth of the community. So the funds that we raise go to the youth in our community in some way, shape, or form.
Parks, Boys and Girls Club.
We
equipments for-
sponsored an art wall downtown. So that's our biggest thing. We give money to our local library. We do a fishing program, just things like that.
How do you raise it? Or what was the most recent fundraiser?
So we do 2 fundraisers a year. We just had our annual patty party. So we do that
That's a St. Patrick's Day.
yes.
Okay.
Nobody in Iberia Parish does it, so we do it.
Okay.
So that was our latest fundraiser. And then we just had our tricycle races this past weekend.
Was that the kayak thing? It was right around
Dragon boat. So yes, we did dragon boat.
Okay.
We don't do dragon boat. COVID stopped dragon boat.
Okay.
And it just never came back.
That was from Optimist.
that was on tap.
Okay.
But Optimus has teamed up with On Tap to bring the tricycle races back. So we do tricycle races now.
Okay. So tell me about this fusion. I know Optimist now. What's on tap?
On Tap came from a former leadership Iberia class.
Okay.
Yes. And they kind of tie into whatever need they see in that year or in that moment.
Gotcha.
Their funds will go to a variety of things or a different thing each year. And they will also team up with organizations like Optimus to raise funds. We donated our proceeds of our tricycle races to the Boys and Girls Club. So we were able to give back to them and have that collaboration with On Tap.
So that class saw a need to want to be helpful to anyone at any given point in time
Correct.
without ties.
And that's how On Tap was founded.
They can operate autonomously where they see fit.
Correct.
That's cool.
Yep.
Okay. What about Berry Queens?
Yes.
Is that the other one?
I'm still in Berry Queens. Yes,
Okay.
correct.
You're the former queen.
I'm former Her Royal Highness 2012.
Oh my.
Yes. But
Wait,
I'm also,
what?
yeah.
I thought it was later than that.
No, it was 2012.
Okay.
Yeah.
What Andalusia?
Andalusia. Yes.
Okay. I always
Yes.
see it. I never actually tried to say it out loud before.
Yes. Jesse, Reagan, and I were King and Queen of Andalusia in 2017.
That's what it was.
Yes.
Okay. So what was the 2012?
The Berry Queens, Her Royal Highness, 2012.
I don't know about all that fancy pageant stuff.
Yeah.
So you won it twice? Is that what that means?
I'm queen twice of two different organizations.
So Andalusia
Yes.
and
The
Berry Queens.
totally separate.
Okay.
Yeah. Berry Queens is a philanthropic group. Andalusia is Mardi Gras.
Gotcha.
Yes.
I saw a lot of dresses and crowns and parties and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
The important stuff. Uh-huh.
You look nice in all the pictures.
Thank you.
Okay. What else?
Iberia Project graduation. I think that's my last group that I'm a part of
Currently?
currently. Correct.
Okay. What does that do?
Iberia Project graduation, we raise money. We have 4 high schools in Iberia Parish that participate, and we raise money throughout the year. And in Iberia Parish, our graduations, we have a different school each night within 1 week. So we have a different project graduation 4 nights in a row. And so Catholic High graduates on Monday. That Monday night is their project graduation. And then we have Lorville, then Westgate, and Nish. So all this money goes towards putting on this safe environment for the kids to celebrate graduation night with their friends.
Okay. So it's after they leave the actual ceremony.
Correct.
And it's like
It's
after party type
9,
of event.
10 o'clock at night till about 5, 6 a.m.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
So like music, food.
All of it.
Just-
We have a lot of local restaurants that donate food every single night. So without the support of the community, I mean, we could not do it. So we've had a lot of support for over 20 years of this program.
And each school has their own night, so they're not celebrating
Correct.
together. Okay.
And that's why it works.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's neat.
Yeah.
But not a lot of drinking and driving.
They're not allowed to have their phones. They're not allowed to have their smartwatches. It's true. It's them being kids.
So how does that work? They walk in and
They have
stick
to.
it in a basket?
Each child has a Ziploc bag with their name on it, and they empty their pockets and put it in there.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm not a control freak, but I don't know how
Some of them, it's it's a little rough, but once they are in the environment without it, and as a parent, and you see these kids just having
Not
good,
doing
clean
this.
fun and just enjoying, and we have some old school type games, and they're just having a good time being kids for at least one more time in their life before they go out into the real world. Yeah,
Has that been around for a while?
about over 20 years, at least 20 years. Yeah.
Interesting. I wonder if the founders of that was like an original thing, or if they.
The reason it came
heard
about
about it
is
somewhere else.
a student died graduation night, and I don't remember the school at the time. So that's where this whole idea came from, to provide a safe environment for them to celebrate, where they're not on the roads, they're not drinking, they're locked into this building, and they all get to celebrate with their friends together.
That's neat.
Yeah.
Your kids went to it?
Yes.
Both of them?
All of them.
All of them.
Yep.
Chandler, your oldest, he's almost done with college.
He's done. He graduated from Louisiana Tech, and he currently lives in Colorado, trying to get him back this way. And he's getting married in November.
Wait, your oldest kid is out of college and fixing to get married?
He'll be 24 in July. I know.
I feel like he was 12 when we bought a house, but he was 16, but still.
Probably, yeah. I'm getting married. Yep.
Have you started planning like what your grandmother name's going to be?
Oh, yes.
Didn't see that one coming.
Oh, no. Already planned it.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yes.
That's par for the course. For those of you who don't know, and you wouldn't anyway, you map quested like 20 houses for us over 2 different shows. Yeah. So I'm not surprised. So what's your grandmother name?
Well, it depends. I have two. So Chandler's fiance is the youngest of three, and her brother will be having a baby this summer. So I'm waiting to see what her mom chooses first.
It's okay.
Yeah. So if her mom chooses Gigi, that's my go-to. But if Gigi's taken, I want to be a Mimsy. Mimsy sounds like the fun grandma that has like the good candy in her purse and, a drink in her hand. I want to be a Mimsy.
But your diet consists of candy though too. So that's kind of, to me, that seems like a good fit.
All ties in together.
I feel at some point over the last handful of years, I asked you how you stay so thin. Like, what's your diet look like? And you said candy and something else like that was absurd. And I was very angry when we got off the phone.
I don't eat that much candy anymore.
No.
Yeah, I've changed. I've grown up.
Mimsy with an S or a Z?
A Z.
Yeah. Got to give it some flair.
Absolutely.
Okay. So we'll have to have a serious talk after this is over. We may have to edit that out because if she sees it, right, we don't want her to necessarily, we want her to pick, right, if that baby's.
I don't think she'll see it. I think it'll be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It's okay. I have a backup, so it's okay.
So you have a backup to the backup?
I've come to terms.
Or it's like 1A, 1B and a backup?
No, it's Gigi or Mimsy. That's it.
Okay. How long did it take you to figure that out?
At a girls' trip last summer at the beach, it just came up in conversation. So we started looking up fun grandparent names.
Yeah. I sat next to a Nana at Bryce's baseball game yesterday. It's cool. It's interesting how it changed.
Yep. I don't feel like a Nana.
Granny, grandma, like that's not a thing anymore. 2024, Andree goes back to 2014. Andree just got licensed. What do you tell her?
Oh, gosh.
Knowing what you know now.
Patience.
With what?
Everything. Like, this is an industry where you have to have patience. Some people will get lucky and come out ready to go and they just build from there. But sometimes it just takes patience to really find your groove, to be able to really have a solid foundation of confidence, a solid foundation of how you choose to run your business. But patience. They say the average is 6 to 7 years where you finally find yourself in this industry. And some people can't wait that long, maybe depending on what their financial situation is in their personal life. So if you are able to have that kind of patience in this profession, then you can do well with it. But patience, yes.
I think that's some good advice kind of across the board in any career. You got to stay long enough
Correct.
to earn your keep.
Correct.
Learn what you think you know, but you don't.
Yes. And every situation, I think that's why I like real estate as much as I do, is I don't get bored. Every transaction is different. I could be selling 2 cookie cutter houses right next to each other, and they're both going to be uniquely different. So I feel like I'm always learning something.
We have the same conversations about money. Hey, do you think I could afford this? And I'm like, I don't know.
Right.
I've had people who have a certain income that can afford, a $300,000-$400,000 house. And then I've had people before who make triple that can't.
Yeah.
Or that barely can.
Yes.
The credit score is not high enough. They don't have enough money to come to closing with.
Yes.
They have a ton of debt. It just depends.
Yes.
So it always is different. So confidence and patience. I would say, I think we have something in common. Just hearing your feedback earlier, having a really good mentor or mentors.
That makes a world of difference.
Guiding lights.
To
someone
have that backbone and that support.
Yeah. Good days, bad days,
Yes.
bouncing everything off of.
Correct.
Have you gone through this before?
Pick you up when you feel like you're down, because that happens a lot. Or you just have that rough transaction where you feel just beat up, or to have that support, that person to go to, that person who will pick up the phone, answer the email, answer the text. That's another way to truly survive successfully in this business.
What do you think is a common misconception that people have about what you do?
That this is easy.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not easy, because you don't know what kind of personalities you're going to be dealing with. There's some days that, I might work 14-hour days, no set schedule, because I'm the type of realtor, I'm going to answer my phone after 5 o'clock. I'm going to pick it up on the weekends. So if my client calls me at 5 p.m., I'm going to answer that phone. They want to see a house at 7 p.m. on a Sunday night, I'm going to go show them that house. So some people can't adjust to that level of having to be flexible.
That's surprising to me, actually, because you're so organized. So
Yes.
I would tell you, you've been talking about patience and confidence. I don't know. I'll have to think of what the adjective is, but to that controlled chaos.
Control chaos.
And balancing it with you being, if you were allowed to be all the time, probably very regimented.
Everything else has to have its place in my life to have the flexibility for real estate.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Do you do things at certain times of the day so that everything else can be freed up, or do you do it like in pockets?
Yes and no, it depends. I guess it depends on what it is and what my day's like. I try to do as much as I can in the mornings. That way, kind of, if I don't have anything going on, I try to do as much in the morning to leave that afternoon, because you never know when you get that phone call. But I do my best work at night. My head's clear. The phone's not ringing. The chances of it ringing is less. 8, 9 o'clock, I do my best work. The world has slowed down, so it affords me that opportunity to just turn my brain off a little bit and focus.
I'm a little bit of both. I always say mornings, but in the mornings I can control things more.
Yes.
Right. So control what you can control. So the phone's not ringing. I do the hard stuff, the things that require a lot of analysis I do in the morning. So mornings I'll typically do like underwriting conditions.
Yeah.
Right. Or something, I have someone to help me, but sometimes it's faster if I do it, because I do all the onboarding with clients and stuff. Sometimes I'll do scenarios, but now that you're saying at night, I do those a lot at night too. Because the math stuff is easy for me. Yeah. I need to focus. Like I can't have the phone ring and stuff a lot of times, and it's quieter. It's mostly the inbound stuff. Emails usually stop.
Yes.
Texts are pretty much stopping all that.
You have that ability to focus. If I have to write an addendum or response to inspections and I have to focus on my words, it's nice when that world just kind of slows down and I can hone in on it.
Yeah. No, it's a thing. I'm really surprised by that.
Really?
Yeah. I'm glad but you got to be flexible, right? Someone asked me, say, hey, what do I need to do to do what you do? And it's flexibility.
Yes.
But you have to be able to be everybody. I said that wrong. You have to be everyone to everybody all the time.
Yes.
So they said, well, explain that different. I said, you have to be a chameleon, basically.
Yep. How you interact with this person completely changes how you interact with that person, and vice versa. Every person's situation is different as to why they're buying or selling. Maybe it's an exciting transaction because it might be their first home, or they're upgrading their home, versus a succession or having trouble letting go of that family home or a divorce. Every situation also brings a completely different way of how you look at it and how you have to interact with those people as well. So you do have to be that chameleon, because, it might be hard that one side of the table might be happy that they're selling their house, but the other side are backwards. So one side, might not be happy that they're having to sell because maybe it was their family home and parents passed away, or they're getting a divorce. But then you have this new couple that's super excited to be purchasing it because it might be their first home. So yeah, you do have to read the room sometimes.
Part of that is having the skill to do it. But part of what makes it look easy to other people is we also have gone through it.
Yes.
Yes. There are certain things that I am working through, like as of this interview right now, that 2 years in the business me, 3 years in the business me wouldn't have been as equipped to handle.
Oh, definitely.
Now, I had to phone a friend, the lifeline, the mentors and stuff, but you move differently whenever you don't need to utilize those as much.
Correct.
And I think another thing that people fail to realize too is that we still all lean on each other.
Yes.
And it's nice.
Even 10 years in, you know who you can rely on. And like you said, sometimes it's just to bounce off what you might already know, but you just have to say it out loud or work it through with somebody.
So what do your days look like now that all the kids are out of school?
It's great. It's great. I have more flexibility and freedom to be where I need to be based on just my schedule. That's nice.
I've joked in a previous episode that the kids have more color-coded categories.
Yes.
You know, and I've never actually tripped up on that color-coded categories than I do. And I have a bunch. So yours is just, you have more white space, or it's just more of Andree's color now?
More of Andree's color now.
Yeah.
Yes, pretty much.
That also allows you to move differently
Exactly.
because you can commit quicker.
Correct.
You're not checking the calendar quite as much.
Correct.
If you are, you already probably know it in your mind.
Yes.
What it is. You just have to verify.
Correct. I'm not going around the kids' schedules to schedule a showing, a closing.
Who's driving, who, where, who's picking you up?
Exactly.
Is food going to be ready when you get back? Mom's not going to be here till whenever.
It's a lot more quick paced for me, where I almost had to kind of slow it down a little bit just to be able to maneuver everything. But I'm enjoying this stage in life. So yeah.
So it sounds like you're going to be able to move at light speed when things pick up even more.
Hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does your husband ever go on real estate related things with you? Like showings, closings, cover you?
Oh gosh, no.
No.
Sometimes, 95% of my business now is referral based. But of course, there's that time where it wasn't, maybe 50% or less was referral based. So a lot of it might have been a call duty, a sign call. And my broker, Angela, is very big on realtor safety, letting somebody know where you are. If you're not comfortable, dial into somebody at the office, call somebody, we'll come there, that sort of thing.
Isn't there an app like
Forewarn? So I still use Forewarn a lot. If someone's just calling in from my sign, or sometimes even if they're referred to me, I'll still just kind of look just because I don't know these people. But this was before Forewarn. So, you might have looked on social media, but sometimes that's not very helpful. So I would bring one of my kids, and I knew if I was going somewhere that I wasn't feeling comfortable, I'd bring my feistier one versus my more passive one. I always kind of knew, or sitting at an open house, just not being alone there too. So
Chandler grew to be a big boy. He's a man now.
6'4". Yes.
Was he really?
He's 6'4". Yes.
I only saw pictures online. I didn't realize he was that tall.
Yes. He kisses me on the top of my head.
Well,
Makes me feel short.
Well, you are a queen,
Yeah. But he makes me feel short. It's nice because I'm usually the tallest.
I had no idea. Mm-hmm. So when you took him toward the tail end of high school, you were walking in with a man-child.
Well, he only came with me to a few things, usually like open houses.
Okay.
Because I would sit there. But I'll bring my daughter Judith. She's the feisty one. So she knew. I said, if I tell you something or look, you just go run to the house next door or whatnot. And she was always on it. She was always prepared. I never needed it, but it helped me feel just a little bit more comfortable.
Sure.
Yeah.
So the kids came, dad stayed at home.
Oh, yeah.
Gotcha.
Got to bring the feisty.
How has his role changed at all as your career has progressed? Being a soundboard, an ear to listen.
No, you
don't have kids in the house.
Well, I joked that he's probably one of the most clueless people in my life because I truly keep that confidentiality aspect of what I do serious. He does not know I have a closing until he sees me posted on Facebook. That's just how our roles work. But there's a lot of stuff in his job that he has to keep confidential. So we're already just used to that in our day-to-day, which is the majority of our day. So if I have to bounce something off, it's calling one of my brokers, it's calling one of my fellow agents in my office. But yeah, no, he usually doesn't know what's going on until I close on something.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to get you a pin that says CIA.
Pretty much. I mean, and like I said, most of my business is referral based. So a lot of the people I work with, he knows very well and has no idea that I'm selling their house or helping them buy something until I post it.
So where do you see yourself and things 5 years from now? Have you thought that far out into the future?
I have not thought that far out into the future.
Well, it looks like you stopped having birthdays. If the closing picture, you look identical to how you look now.
I will take that and say you're a liar, but thank you.
Yeah.
But no, in 5 years.
So you won't age any, but what else is going to change?
Correct. I won't age any. I know in 5 years, a lot of what I do in the community now is going to shift.
How so?
Well, you term out at the chamber. So those things, those natural flow of rolling off of this board or whatnot, because I sit on 4 boards of directors right now. So I know that's going to change naturally. And I have my eye on certain things a few years down the road that I would love to be a part of more. So I know that will happen.
So the vision board has some.
It's going to shift a little bit.
Some things kind of, hopefully that'll get
Simmering.
teed up.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
And I'm very competitive with myself. Our office is very competitive. We do a lot of things fun competitive. That's part of who we are, but I'm very, very competitive with myself. So I always try to strive to do a little bit better than the year before. So I hope to be at a different level 5 years from now than where I am now.
You think the industry will be different?
It's always changing. So yeah, how, I'm not sure, Yeah,
there's a lot of talk in the inner zones about NAR and all the things, but
how can I say it? In our office, we focus on those things because you have to be aware of what's going on. But we are very comfortably confident as to how we work our business. And as long as we stick to our roots and what we know and continue to treat our clients the way we've always treated our clients and work our business the way we always have,
sure,
we don't foresee it affecting us no matter what the change is in a negative way, because we try to stay ahead of the game. We try to stay on top of things. And as long as we just stay focused to who we are and how we work our business, we might have to change something, but it's not going to change how we interact with our clients. It's not going to change how we treat them. It's not going to change the way we look at a transaction. So things will always change. I mean, you look at all these forms get another page longer every year, where when I first started, it was 2 pages, maybe the listing agreement or purchase agreement. And it had the little, not the little Xerox, what it's called when you have the little yellow paper underneath and you tear it off and give it
the carbon copy.
I mean,
on the contracts?
Yes.
No way.
Yes.
And now
it's all done.
They're like 9, 10,
authenticized and electronic and 11 pages long.
But see, that was the solution to extra friction getting created, was now it's on your phone and you just do like that.
It's so much more convenient. And I work with a lot of people who are out of state. And so to be able to have that tool is
we
very helpful.
We FaceTimed during the home inspection 8.5 years ago.
Correct.
Off a cellular. I wasn't even because I was in a drive-through.
Yes, you were at the Dairy Queen.
So I have a favor.
Okay.
We haven't had a chance to do it yet. So at some point in the next year, I need you to time block out some time.
Okay.
And I would like to go through the drive-through and buy you a Blizzard.
That would make my day.
You cool with that?
I'm very cool with that. In the summer, it's going to have to be in the summer.
It means a lot that you came today.
Thank you for having me.
I haven't been able to wipe the smile off my face. It feels just like old times.
Yes, it does.
So, well, you'll have to come back.
I appreciate it. Anytime.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.